Broccoli Yahweh, Broccoli Yahweh Shai, Broccoli Yahweh, Broccoli Yahweh Shai, Koholo Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Hakadash, double honors to the apostle and elders, the great Muslims, taught me the truth that rule well. Salutations to the Yakim out there pushing the truth in all sincerity and risk their lives to do so. Salutations to the hopeful like that believe in the truth, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that scattered them on the four corners of the earth, Shalom. This is an article on Fox News dealing with the current situation going on in France about the protests and whatnot is going forth out there, due to social injustice. This is dated for December 4th, 2020, which was yesterday. Today's December 5th of 2020. And the title of the article is France Struggles with Systematic Racism and New Security Law as Protesters Rock Country. French President Emmanuel Macron proposed to rewrite bill due to fierce opposition. France has been roiled for days with mass protests and collective outrage over a proposed security law that would criminalize recording or photographing police officers, photographing police behavior with obvious intention to harm their physical and psychological integrity in the public square. So yeah, these devils, they want to put forth or had passed a law that, you can't record police, dealing with civilians. Like if you pull your video, if you pull your phone out, because everybody has a phone with with cameras on it these days. You know what I'm saying? So you can upload things to the internet instantly. Or social media. So when you catch these devils in the act, you can record it, and in one push of a button, the whole world could see. You know what I'm saying? Them do their unrighteous deeds. And how they treat Jake. Unrighteously. So they wrote a law that if you it'll be illegal for you to record police in doing their daily duties. If they pull you over and and you see that a police officer pulling a civilian over and questioning them, and you pull out your cell phone, they can tell you just to put it away because or they can tell you they're gonna lock you up because you're doing an illegal act against them by recording, but you're just there for protection because how police get down, especially when they're dealing with Jake. You know what I'm saying? They especially Esau Edom. When you see an Edomite cop, dealing with Jake, how they get down. You know what I'm saying? Esau Edom has this perpetual hatred towards Jake. That's been programmed to him by the Most High anyway. To have that hatred for them. But with that being said, that these devils, they do these wicked acts, unto Jake, and now they want to, take it out, dismiss the evidence or get rid of the evidence of them doing these wicked acts by making it illegal for you to record them while they're doing these things. Reading on, the proposal gathered such extreme backlash, with thousands of people taking to the streets in opposition of the legislation that the ruling party of President Emmanuel Macron promised to rewrite the bill. Yeah, so now because these riotings and these people coming out in the streets and having no regard of law enforcement and politicians and whatnot, they take it into the streets and they go into war with these with these people. So, and because of this, because the things are getting out of hand, and they see these people rioting and protesting, he was like, oh well, maybe we need to reconsider this. Maybe we got to rewrite this law, so give some leeway. But that's just Esau Edom, in his wickedness. He come up with these unrighteous decree and put him into place because he's the devil, he's the wicked, and Satan that the Bible speaks of, But this is what he This is what he does best. He brings up these draconian laws, and puts them into play because he's the devil. Read on. The recent unrest was initiated over a beating of black musician producer Michael Zeckler by 4 police officers in Paris on November 21st. The CCTV footage that captures the incident shows the officers kicking and punching Zeckler for several minutes. Zeckler accused the officers of racial bias, and 4 policemen are now under criminal investigation. Yeah, so Jake, you know what I'm saying, this famous musician who's a Jake, you know, he can't. There's no escaping it. No matter how famous you are, you know, no matter how much money you got, you know what I'm saying, in this devil system, you know what I'm saying, you always gonna be considered what they call a so-called nigga, you know, and you know, if you have whatever you have, you know, truly belongs to Esau Edom anyway. But you know, it goes to show that, you know, no matter, you know, how much, you know, notoriety you get, or how much fame you get, or how much money you have, you know, you're still under these curses, you know, and you're still gonna you know, see the effects of, you know, being under the curse of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know. So that's why, you know, you're being attacked by your enemy, you know, because, you know, you can't escape the curses. No matter how much money you get, no matter where you live, you know, how big your house is or whatever, you know, you're still under the curses of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So you know, you can't escape the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know. So you're still going to experience the things that regular Jakes, you know, who are not famous, experience. You know, you're still going to, you know, face oppression and police brutality or whatnot. You're gonna still experience these things because you're under the curses. You know, and marching and fighting for social equality ain't gonna help. You know, the only thing that's gonna help is, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you know, rescuing us, you know, from the hands of, you know, Esau Edom, the devil, man, taking his devil down and taking down his system. That's the only way that, you know, we're gonna come out of this. You know, we can't take matters into our own hands. You know, no matter if we go out and vote or we go out and protest, you know what I'm saying, it's still not gonna change this, because the same people that set up the system, you know, is in rule. You know, and we're still under his system that he has created to impress Jake. You know, no matter where we are, and this is in France. You know, this is not even in Babylon the Great, showing you that, you know, all the Israelites scattered out the 4 corners of the earth. You're still under the curses. You can't run from it, no matter where you go on the face of this planet. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be Asia, France, North America, South America, Canada. You know what I'm saying? Japan, whatever you go, whatever Jake is, you're under the curses and you can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? You're still gonna experience these things because the Lord has ordained it to be so. You know, no matter what country you're in, like China, like, you know, Moab. You know what I'm saying? Japan, Ammonites, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whoever Jake is, you know, he's still gonna experience these curses because, you know, the Lord has you know, placed that mark upon you, you know, for one to be an identifier, you know, to show you who the people of the nation of Israel is. You know, they're still going to be under these curses. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, you can't run from it. You know, no matter how much money you get, no matter how much fame you receive, you know, on this end, you know what I'm saying, you're still going to experience these curses. You can't escape it. But reading on. Meanwhile, the French police union is urging prosecutors to charge Zeckler with resisting arrest. Yeah, they beat this dude, you know what I'm saying, down or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, well known this guy, and now they want to, you know, fault him with resisting arrest because, you know, there's footage of it out there, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, they know that they have fault, but now they want to put a charge upon him of resisting arrest because they know that, they're guilty. Nevertheless, protesters and defenders of Zeckler argue the new security law would prevent tragedies like this from coming to light. Yeah, so, you know, Esau Edom, he wants, you know, he does. He wants to, you know, hide evidence. You know, he wants to, you know, get rid of the footage of him doing these acts. You know, because, you know, like I was saying, everybody has a cell phone now, and they have cameras on it, so you can just pull out your phone and catch these devils, doing these wicked acts. But now they try to make it a law so that if you pull these things out and you record them, you're going to go to jail. And if Jake pull a camera out and start recording, this is going to shoot Jake dead on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau Edom has a professional hatred for them. So he's ready to kill Jake at instance. He could be like, oh, I saw him reaching for his phone, but whatnot. I thought he was going for a gun, so I had to shoot him. They can just make anything up because that's what the devil does. But the recording is evidence that he's doing an unrighteous act, or you catching him doing a social injustice. So he wants to wipe that out the play, just like he tried to wipe out the evidence, with the artifacts, of the nation of Israel being in rule, in power in these European countries, prior to them, coming back into power after their 1,000 years of being subdued. You know what I'm saying? The Lord had allowed them to, come back into power, which came into the Renaissance era. But during the 1,000 years of the Dark Ages, it was the Jake that was in rule. And when they came back into the Renaissance era, they whitewashed everything. They tried to get rid of the evidence that that we were actually in power. You know what I'm saying? And they was actually in subjecting to us. So they go and they get rid of these artifacts, or they try to get paint their faces on these artifacts or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And whitewash history. And destroy statues. In order to get rid of the evidence. And then they place themselves as the people that as those people, because they did a great identity thefts. You know what I'm saying? They did a great thief. You know what I'm saying? They're all about taking everything and making it theirs. They're vagabonds. They have no land. So they go and they steal people's land and take their identities. And they get rid of the evidence. You know what I'm saying? So this is prototypical. This is just who Esau Edom is. You know what I'm saying? He's a thief. So he wants to go and come up with these laws, these draconian laws that take away your rights and put you in subjection to him. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to and hide the fact of what he's doing, of his wickedness. Just like, he did in history. That's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a thief and a liar, So he's going to try to make, himself being the right. But, this is his system. He can do as he please. And this is why he brought this into play. But now he's seeing the reaction of the people or whatnot. But all in all, truth of the matter is that it's going to come a time to where that he not going to give a shit no more. And he really just going to, show his horns, and he's going to roll out on the whole world, because this whole mark of the beast RFID chip implant is going to come into play, and this is where we're at right now, because we're at the end, and it's going to come to a point to where that he's not gonna gradually put it into play. He's actually going to force his hand and start putting people to death, because it's prophesied to take place. I'm just read on. And I'm gonna put this article in the description box. I probably won't read the whole thing, and then I'm gonna go into the scriptures after this. But let me read on a little bit more. Opponents asserted that the bill was overly vague and prevent citizens from holding police officers accountable, while proponents of the bill claimed that the law would help protect police from online targeting and abuse. So they worried about police being targeted, saying that if we're caught recording, we can be targeted by society now. We're not gonna have no peace because of you guys recording us, and you guys don't know half of what it was that happened. So now whatever, but you know how Esau Edom is. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to wiggle their way out of the wrongdoings or whatnot, but really, they just want to hide, you know what I'm saying, the unrighteous act or the wickedness that they're doing to the people. Reading on, notwithstanding a potential rewrite, the mere proposal of such draconian security law calls into question France's dedication and commitment to accountability and stemming police brutality. Yeah, this is draconian, man. This is he's trying to take away your so-called right, you know, to record, unrighteous act that's done publicly, and the so-called these police are so-called supposed to protect and serve the citizens. You know what I'm saying? Your tax dollars go to pay their salaries, so they're actually there to service you. But they're trying to take away your right to make sure that they're doing things justly. That they ain't doing things, doing unjust acts or committing in social inequality acts upon regular everyday civilians. What you doing? The backdrop of France's security bill comes in light in this summer's worldwide Black Lives Matter protests that were sparked after George Floyd, a black man, died while in Minneapolis police custody in a broad daylight on May 25th. Yeah, because the thing that happened to George Floyd, which took place in America's Babylon the Great, sprang forth throughout the whole world, showing you that was something that was ordained by Yahweh Hashem Shai. Because how so that something that happens to a so-called Jake in one country affected the whole world? You know what I'm saying? This was protest throughout the whole world, showing you that that the Lord put that into play, and then He had the whole world in uproar, because it's that this is end time prophecy that was written into play that to take place, that the world was going to be in uproar, So something that took place here in Babylon the Great affected the whole world, and the whole world went through knocking down statues of these Edomites, and how they went into the conquest of conquering different lands and committing genocide upon these countries, and none like that has been ever done to Jerusalem or to the Israelites, especially coming over here to what they call United States, so-called America, you know what I'm saying, which is known in the Bible as Babylon the Great, or modern day Egypt. They still have these monuments or whatnot of their people, what I'm saying, that they hold in high regard, and many people were cutting their heads off of these statues and toppling them, and spray painting them or whatever, during these times of the protests. And a lot of these Edomites were upset at that, and they was, and Trump was like, telling, people that if they got caught, they were gonna do like 10 years in prison for, for vandalism, of these statues, But anyway, that just shows you how wicked Esau is, They still hold these people, that represent, white supremacy in high regard, So it's showing you that they still hold on to that pride, but that's who he is. He's the proud man, and he's the wicked that the Bible speaks of, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's the wicked that ruleth the earth. Because they had these statues all over, and these are things that were taking place in in other countries as well as the United States, But it's been ordained by the Lord because that's end time prophecy. Brutal scenes of the police firing tear gas and beating protesters across France once again highlighted repressive police tactics and systematic racism, and some of many themes associated with a tumultuous 2020. France, much like the United States and other multiracial societies, has long struggled to uphold its universal and democratic ideals of racial equality enshrined in its egalitarian constitution. I think egalitarian just means equal as well, another word for equality. In reality, on the ground, recent tragedies of police violence against Black and Arab citizens in France has led to nationwide movements to alter France racial neutral policies. Yeah, but there's no such thing as equality. That's something that Esau Edom has created in this system and to hide who he truly is. Because the Lord has ordained the nation of Israel to be um, greater than all other nations, because the the world was created, or these other nations were created to be in submission to the nation of Israel. So there's truly no such thing as equality, but that's what Esau Edom has done to deceive the world. He wants you to get out there and vote, saying that we can make change. Knowing that the voting system is rigged, because these devils, there's no such thing as an election. It's only a selection. They select who they want to put in order, in control. You know what I'm saying? It's a delusion. So you go out there and you cast your vote, but truly it's them, putting whoever they want into the power seat so they can control them. But that's dealing with something else. But yeah, but truly, there's no such thing as equality. The Lord hasn't ordained, you know, a thing as equality, because there's only one set of people that's supposed to be set up and rule, and in each kingdom there's a ruler, and just so be that this is Esau Edom's kingdom and he's in rule, so he sets the laws, but he don't want to admit the fact that he's Esau Edom, and the Lord's because he knows that his fate is for the Lord for him to be destroyed by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That he's gonna be if he admits that he's Esau Edom, he has to admit that he's the devil, he's Satan, and he's the wicked of the earth, and that's what he's trying to hide, So and he bring these false narratives into play that there's a such thing as equality, and we can all just get along. We just got to put the right people in these positions of power, and then we can come up with a way to things can be equal. But the truth of the matter is, Esau Edom and these other nations, they are our enemy, and our chief enemy is Esau Edom, and he's the Lord has ordained him to be our enemy for lifetime, for all generations. So how is it that we're gonna have equality in him, especially if the Lord has ordained us to rule over these other nations? You know what I'm saying? Not only is he's our enemy, but he's been deemed to be our servant. So we can't have equality in this man's system as he deceive you to believe. Because when we come into power, when the Lord comes back and he puts us in power, in the power seat, these nations, they're gonna know who we are, and they're gonna know that they're not equal to us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna be above all these nations, and we're gonna beat these devils and these other nations into submission, so they know who we are. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no second guessing of who's in the power seat, or if we in equality. Ain't gonna be no equality. You know what I'm saying? All these nations gonna know who we are, and if they don't get in order, you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna bust their ass, and that's what Esau Edom is hiding, the fact that he don't want to be deemed to who he truly is. So he gonna tell you things like you got equality, but knowing that, but if you can see that, you know what I'm saying, he got the most powerful military in the world. All the nations have to answer to him, and he rules wickedly. If you get out of order, he bust your ass. He bring his military in, he bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? He sanction these countries or whatever if they get out of order, and if they don't want to get in line, he roll on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing we're going to do, but it's going to be known that we are the people that rule, but we're going to rule righteously. We're not going to rule like this wicked nigga did during his rulership. It's going to be known that, we're the people that, what I'm saying, that's over all people. But we're going to be ruling in righteousness, not like this devil that's ruling in wickedness. But, like I said, I'm going to put this article in the description box. You can go through and read it yourself, but I'm just, going to the scriptures right quick. This is Isaiah 10:1, which reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievances which they have prescribed." Yeah, and this is an unrighteous decree that they have prescribed. You know what I'm saying? To go and write in law that they want to take away your right to video surveillance. Police police brutality that they commit upon civilians. You know what I'm saying? That's an unrighteous decree, because they're trying to hide evidence, of them doing shit that's unrighteous. You know what I'm saying? They're not supposed to be out there, beating up Jake or beating up whoever. You know what I'm saying? Their whole duty is to serve and protect the civilians. You know what I'm saying? Because it's your dollar that's paying for this protection. So they're there to do a service unto you. But they rule wickedly. You know what I'm saying? And they try to take away your right. So what they say you have, which is, there's no such thing as rights. In this man's system, there's only privileges because, rights, you know what I'm saying, is given. They can't take rights away. But privilege they can, you know what I'm saying? So those are privileges that they gave into you. And, these Edomites, they about to see, you know what I'm saying, what time it is. Because, once this devil put his martial law in effect and he started rolling, they're really going to see, you know what I'm saying, like, that you've been deceived by this devil. You know what I'm saying? Your own people has deceived you. But, this is 2nd Esdras 15 and 14. 2nd Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Yeah. It's going to come a time to where that, the Lord going to have us, it's going to bring civil war into play. You know what I'm saying? Like these uproars of the people right now, and you're getting a small glimpse of that. This past year, 2020, after read in the article about the civil injustice, that was just a glimpse of what's to come, because Jacob's troubles, we're at the beginning of that, and it's going to just get worse, and people are going to be killing each other out here in the streets, very coming. Coming very soon. Like they say, coming soon to a theater near you. That's what's going to happen, man. This is coming very soon to a city near you, man. To wherever you dwell, these things are about to take place. Read knowing, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, they're not going to regard law enforcement, all these politicians, all these people that hold these high elite positions. They don't not. The average individual is not going to care, because they're going to see, that when they place these draconian laws into play, that whatever the laws or rights that they had before is going to be stripped away from them. They're going to start getting vexed, you know what I'm saying, and they're going to go out there because the Lord going to put the spirit upon these all individuals to be vexed, you know what I'm saying, with these people, and then they go out there at war, and then a lot of those law enforcement, they're gonna drop out, you know what I'm saying, because and they're gonna be ride with the people as well, you know what I'm saying, because all their rights gonna also be stemmed from the system that they put in play, their rights gonna be taken away as well, so they're gonna feel some type of way, and they gonna start warring, so these are things that these are the times that we're living into, because these prophecies are unfolding, they're written to happen, and they're coming into play now. The vision is yet for an appointed time, and this is the time that these things are taking place. It's going to continue to increase. It's going to intensify. A man should desire to go into the city and should not be able. Yeah, martial law is going to take place. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be able to go to your city without having these certain right now it's paperwork, but it's going to come to the play for dealing with the COVID vaccination, showing proof of you. In order for you to go from city to city, you're going to have proof of these things, and they're going to set up these men with martial law for you to show evidence that you received this vaccination, for you to enter into these cities, because you're going to be deemed a domestic terrorist, you know what I'm saying, if you don't get these things, so you're going to have to subject them to their order. Same thing with getting an RFID microchip. You're not going to be able to move, you're not going to be able to survive without it, you know what I'm saying. So they're going to make sure that you're compliant with them in order for you to move in a society. Renewing, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men should be afraid. Yeah, because the men going to be afraid, during this time, because once they set martial law and act and they take your rights away, they can have free reign. They can be able to do it as they please. You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't gonna be no court system to where that he did this unjustly unto me. Because they're gonna be completely under their rule. So when they go through and they're gonna be ravishing your homes and taking away your children and taking your wives or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And grabbing yourself up. And they're just gonna be throwing you into these concentration camps, these FEMA camps that they got set up. So many men are going to be afraid during this time because people are going to be running, for life and trying to strive for survival during these times. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, because if you don't submit to that system, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have lack of bread. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have food in your house. And you're gonna do whatever you gotta do. You're gonna be invading people's homes or whatever, put people to death to feed yourself and your own, So it's gonna be total chaos out here coming pretty soon. And this is just a glimpse of it. This is 2 Esdras 9:1, which reads, "And he answered me, then said, Measure thou the tide diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the earth, it's like it to visit the world which he hath made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." Yeah, as you can see, the people are in uproar because of the situation that that they put in play in France for them to take away their rights to be able to video surveillance themselves against the police. You know what I'm saying? So more and more uproar is going to happen because more and more of your rights are going to be stripped away as this devil puts his draconian laws into place of these forced vaccinations, of the forced implementation of the microchip. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's coming into play. Because these are things that are ordained by the Yahweh Hashem Ashai to take place in the last days. And these are the times we're living. We're at the beginning of Jacob's troubles right now. You know what I'm saying? We're actually in these times, and these prophecies are actually happening, And the men of the Lord of Yahweh Hashem Ashai, dealing with the elder apostles, first of great Mosul, have been telling you these things for decades, that these things were gonna come into the play, and we're living in this time now, Like I said, as the scriptures say, the vision is yet for the appointed time, and this is that time that the vision was appointed. You know what I'm saying? The Lord tarry wait for it. These things are happening, and it's only going to intensify because we're at the end. This is the end of this devil's in the system, man. He coming down, but before he go down, he coming down with great wrath. And it's going to be upon Jake the worst. You know what I'm saying? Because you're the reason why these things are taking place, and you're his target. You know what I'm saying? He want to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? So he can try to hold on to his blessing, but at the end, he's going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord has ordained him to lose. The game is fixed. It's all set up for this devil to lose. So I'm just going to end the video there. I just want to say, Koholo Yahweh Hashem Rashai. I hope the lesson been edifying. Again, all praise Yahweh Hashem Rashai. Kwara Mashirala. Abba Shalom.